But this led me to a question. Not just pollution, but poisoning as the third thing.
People are afraid of that's the
you have a customer. Yeah. You're bidding for a customer, and I'm bidding for the customer. Yeah. We both want to do seminars, and the customer will only take one of those two. Yeah? So what I could do is go into ChatGPT and write a lot of bad stuff into ChatGPT about Mark Engelhardt, and Mark Engelhardt does the same about me. He knows the customer asks ChatGPT, who is Oliver Lehmann, and then he writes some nasty things about me, how many projects I did, or seminars and projects I did wrong, and so on. Yeah, and then the customer sees that and thinks, okay, this Mark Engelhardt, no, we shouldn't take this guy if you look at that. And Oliver Lehmann, it's even worse. Yeah. I'm sure you can do this much better poisoning than I can.
Well, I think what you're referring to, I think a lot of people aren't aware of this, is that I think there's a lot of discussion. I recently saw a podcast where somebody was saying that ChatGPT or similar AIs have the potential of relieving Google, and it reminded me of the fact that actually AI's capability is strongly dependent on the big data that you find in Google.
Exactly.
And I think there's a cultural fear. I think one of the greatest assets of our generation is that for the first time in the history of mankind, we have literally information at our fingertips. And I think it scares the hell out of certain people.
But the problem is that a lot of this information is not true, and you cannot really say which is which.
But what unfortunately came up is because I think the truth is sometimes painful. And I think a lot of people, for multitude of political, economical, or competitive reasons, have poisoned or polluted this big data, and
then we have pipe dreaming as the third problem. Is the third P here, that when this AI software doesn't know the answer, then it makes something up, like me running a company. I don't run this company. So this is the problem that we have, and we have to address the problem.
So the three words, I like them. The three P's are poisoning, polluting, and
pipe dreaming.
Pipe dreaming, yeah.
Pipe dreaming.
Creating pipe dreams.
Ps. Yeah. Originally I thought it's fantasizing, but then I noticed.
Well, in German,
fantasizing in English is with an F.
Yeah.
In Germany it would be a P, but in English it's with an F. So I had to replace it with pipe dreaming. But it means the same thing. And the problem is that we need good data, not just big data. And this is where the problem is. We have too much big data, and you don't know which of that is good data and which is not.
Let me ask you another question, because we're focused kind of on projects, programs, portfolios, PMOs. What value does AI have for people that are working projects?
It saves a lot of time.
In what? For example, give me some example.
When I want with our submarine project, you want to write a letter to your customer, hey, if you go on paying that late, we will not be able to make you satisfied because we cannot afford that. Or you want to send a letter to your contractor saying, hey, these deliveries are so late, we have a problem with you and the quality is not good enough, and so on.
So it can help you with your communication flow, sometimes called workflow.
It would cost me about 3 hours to write such a letter, because when I want to write such a letter, I want to be diplomatic, but I want also to be some kind of assertive, not too pushy, find the right words. And this is where it's very, very helpful. It gives me a template, and I still work on the template. I don't use it as it is, but it saves me of these 3 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. And that's a lot. It increases my productivity. Then it helped me with English. I've been a Grammarly user, paid account, for some years now, and I wrote 2 English books. And I think my English wasn't that bad, my English in writing. Mm-hmm. But I could really improve it with Grammarly. What I found today now is, when I ask Grammarly for some recommendations, my English is better. My written English, written English, which is still different to the spoken English. So you learn something from them. They are good teachers for a certain period of time. But as with every teacher, at one point in time, the student excels the teacher. And so this happens here as well. But it's the time saving. That's one thing. Then the other important thing is, if you have You often have non-native staff who has to write English. So it helps them to write
with communication
better.
So you see the primary function of the AI in the management of communication and the acceleration of communication.
increasing the productivity in communication, which is, by the way, a dangerous thing because more will be communicated. Then it can help you to develop some outlines and some summaries of a long text.
We're going to need AI to read it for us because I always say this is the only thing that I find a little bit questionable. Everybody says, AI will help you write. My question is, most people don't want to read nowadays. Who's going to read it?
AI will read it for you and will give you a summary of that. But the problem is, again, did it really find those points that are relevant for you? It finds the points that the AI considers relevant. It may not be. If you read a text and I read a text, you will point out, hey, this is interesting, and I will say, no, this is far more interesting, and this is far more interesting. We will look at different, and now the AI, it has no real opinion and it has no moral compass. That's the other thing. So it doesn't really know what is really important for you and what is important for me.
Do you see AI as in anytime soon also being helpful in the analysis of projects and evaluating projects? Or maybe if we go back to configuration, do you think that AI would be able to help you with configuration management?
No.
No?
Because it is not sufficiently aware of context.
Okay.
Yeah. Situations, part of the situational thinking.
So you see AI more to help us with the menial things that take forever to do,
repetitive things,
but not necessarily with the complex cognitive things.
It will help you with style. It will help you in speed. It will not help you in the things where you really need a human brain. Yeah. There are certain things that I cannot. It cannot hold hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it would do that, you would be very, very careful. Hey, suspicious. What does this computer want of me? Yeah. Hell 2001. What is a Space Odyssey? Yeah. They get very, very careful about this computer because it has its own ideas.
So your submarine project is you're working on something that has to do with project management, and it's AI.
It has something to do with project business.
Very good. Interesting. We'll call you back when it's going to be ready.
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea.
It's one of those agile projects.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
The question is, that's a pet peeve of mine. I'm a gaming girl, and gaming is one of the most growing industries money-wise.
This is an important thing. We have projects that are not business projects in software because we have software projects for gaming. It's one of my other examples that I often bring when we talk about project business and we talk about project management.